Hello everyone, I just saw the 6th episode of Andor, The Eye. And after all the build-up and after all the waiting, I can safely say the infiltration mission to get the payroll from the vaults is actually basically worth it. Let's get to the story, shall we? The story is that there's this commander who's coming over to the base, who basically has been displacing the local population of the planet in order to build the place up for the Empire. The Danis, who are the locals of the area, however, have this festival known as the Eye that they're going to celebrate before the final preparations of the Empire take place. So, our heroes decide to use that festival in order to infiltrate the base when the least amount of Imperial troopers will be there, so they can get the vault payments and get the proper funding for the rebellion. But considering there are conflicting motivations at hand with our heroes, and considering that Cassian is pulled into a mission that he wasn't entirely prepared for from the start, things don't go as planned entirely. But that's all I'll say about the story. I love the fact that the series has managed to at least develop the characters enough to the point where it feels like everyone's motivations make sense here based on what we've seen. From Tamarin trying to get everyone out of this alive, to Nemec, being the naive one who clearly has his ideals but isn't fully ready to get them across yet, to Skeen being the schemer of the group who might not be as loyal as he says he is. It makes the whole mission feel rather tense in that sense, especially considering you don't know how many people are going to make it out alive, or even if they'll get all the money they need for this one mission. On top of that, the effects are generally pretty solid, with especially the chase at the end with the TIE fighters and the auroras in the sky. It made me realize that escaping with those auroras in the sky is a dangerous, but possibly the only way that they could have managed to get out of here alive with all the Imperials that are in their way. On top of that, the Imperials actually feel like they're somewhat intimidating during these scenes, because most of them don't have stormtrooper aim throughout most of it. In fact, they seem to have about as much aim as our heroes do, so it doesn't feel like our heroes are just getting easy wins as they get through the base. And that also gets to the moral gray areas of these characters, even with Andor. One thing that I liked about Andor's character in Rogue One that I wish was developed more was how he was willing to do generally morally bankrupt things in order to get what he needed, or what was necessary for the Empire, for the rebellion. And here we see that again, as he's willing to do morally questionable things for the greater good, and that just makes him a more compelling hero, considering he's just a goody two-shoes the whole time, or at least not someone who's trying to be a goody two-shoes the whole time. I wish more Star Wars characters were able to act like that nowadays without, all this stuff. And it makes sense with his character as seen with Rogue One. So with everything that's been done here, and now that we've reached the halfway point, I can safely say that Andor has earned its second half of episodes. So with the mission somewhat complete, with some major casualties on both sides, it makes me wonder how the rest of the series is going to play out. See you next time.